Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and I'm going to read you something that I think you're going to like. Link2 is running a really cool promotion from now until the end of January. January 31st it will end. It says, when you make an investment in a particular company, you'll earn, this is Link2, linqto.com, private equity. When you make an investment in a particular company, you'll earn rewards for investing in a second, third, or additional companies. Your multiple investments will be eligible for rewards so long as they're made within a 24-hour time period. There's no limit to how many days during the month you can take advantage of the multiple investment rewards. And so they're saying investment in the second company you invest in, XRP airdrop of $500 worth of XRP. And then Link2 $1,000. If you invest in a third company, $1,000 XRP airdrop, $2,000 Link2. If you invest in a fourth or additional companies, $1,500 each XRP airdrops, $3,000 Link2. In order to qualify for the XRP reward, you'll have to use your Uphold wallet to fund your investments and to receive the XRP drop. If you don't have an Uphold wallet and fund your investments via wire transfer, your rewards will be through Link2 that will drop into your Link2 account. So there you go, folks. It is on like Donkey Kong at Link2 until the 31st of January. And I wanted to play you this video. John Deaton, I showed you where he was on Link2 yesterday. He was on a Zoom call with those guys. Here, he's asked about the worst case and best case scenarios in the SEC versus Ripple case.
Another question, John. What is the realistic worst case scenario for time? How long can this stretch out before we have a resolution? We know that we can have a settlement, at 3 o'clock today, but how long can this be stretched out if it ends up going the distance?
If it goes the distance, the trial would be June.
Okay.
The trial would be if you get past. You asked worst case scenario, so you asked worst case scenario for timing. Ripple files a summary judgment motion. The SEC files a summary judgment motion, and the judge decides that a jury must decide those facts, that there's a factual determination that needs to be met, and the jury is the fact finder. And so there would be a jury trial, just like there was a Connecticut jury trial. I don't know if you saw it, but there was a Connecticut securities jury trial about 2 months ago, and the jury found against the SEC in the trial and found that it was a digital asset of some sort, that asset was not a security. And so if that happens, then of course the SEC could appeal the decisions of the judge, but at that point there'd be a verdict for Ripple. Then you would think that that the exchanges could relist, etc. But that would be summer. I'm thinking the summer, because I don't see a summary judgment actually being argued until April. And if she takes 30 days to decide, that puts us in May. We're actually probably looking at July or August, to be honest with you. So I would say worst case scenario is September for a jury trial, but it's probably August for July.
Thank you.
It's not it's for a jury trial. Now, if the judge could also, that was the worst case scenario on timing. If the judge agrees with Ripple as a matter of law, the SEC did not provide adequate notice to know that XRP was an investment contract, then that could be over in April, right? So I wasn't saying worst case scenario on that stuff. Just if
I just want everybody to have their horizon. You know, it's like there's so many people out here, 65,000 XRP holders that are part of your suit, and all of the Ripple private equity holders. I mean, everyone needs to know, what's the horizon look like? So it sounds like between April and August, we're going to have a resolution.
So there you have it. April and August is the worst case gist of what he's saying. Interesting stuff. Now, this is interesting too. This is the co-founder of BlockFi talking about regulations and getting some clarity for the industry and what she thinks happens in that scenario.
The space is changing, obviously, and you are kind of at the forefront of that in terms of all these ancillary products that you're offering. Regulatory issues front and center again. You think that goes from a negative overhang to resolving itself in a positive way eventually this year?
Absolutely. So I can't give you the exact timelines for regulators, but what I can say is that since the beginning, regulatory clarity is something that founders and anyone building in the space definitely needs. So, if you're coming from financial services, you know that the rules come first. And in order for this space to really grow, I do think that consumers and investors alike need clarity from regulators in terms of how should companies be managing, how should builders be building. And with that clarity comes a sense of trust and safety. And I do think that a lot of consumers and investors alike have been sitting on the sidelines waiting to either move into the space from an employment standpoint or move into the space from an investment perspective. And they've been waiting for this regulatory clarity to come about. So if we do get clarity from regulators in the beginning of this year, I do think that'll allow the entire crypto industry to kind of move to a level 2 in terms of how we build and how much we can grow.
Folks, let me make a point here. I've said it before. Look, investing is about, and I'm not a financial advisor, I'm just telling you how I look at things with my investments. Investing is about risks and rewards. Right now, you can go and you can buy things in the stock market. You can make a lot of investments that already have regulatory clarity. Because of the lack of regulatory clarity, because of the XRP, the lawsuit against Ripple and that's holding XRP up, because of those things, it's risk reward. Because of those things, the rewards and the risks are very high. In other words, if I'm sitting here and I have the guts to hold XRP or crypto in general without regulatory clarity, I'm taking a higher risk than the guy that comes in after the clarity is there. And for that reason, I have a chance at much higher gains. That's why I'm here. As long as I understand what it is I'm investing in and what the risks are, that's why I'm here, folks. That's the reason venture capitalists make so much money, is that they're investing in companies at a point where there's much more chance of failure. But if the companies succeed, there's much more upside because you took the chance earlier. That's what we're really doing here. That's what this is about. Risk and reward. And I mean, I know a lot of major conservative, nervous type people in my life who are gonna come in once the water's warm and they have all that clarity, and they're not gonna make near what I made by having the guts to be here before everything was clear. And that's okay. It takes all types. But I'd rather be me in that situation. Now, our old buddy Jay Clayton, who we now know has the gall to weigh in on anything in this space, says former U.S. SEC Chairman digital assets will change the global financial infrastructure. Well, thanks, Jay. We appreciate it. And we really appreciate your contribution to slowing all of that down. He says, this asset class, in my view, is here to stay in one form or another, whether it's stable coins or something else. Clayton said, there are a number of paths forward for the industry. And then down here he says, the ability to eliminate frictions that exist in the current global, you know what we need, the frictions that we need to eliminate, Jay, are guys like you who go and run government agencies and do the bidding of their buddies, and they're the friction preventing some companies like Ripple from taking their rightful place in the number one slot with XRP, because of guys like you that are putting the brakes on them when you don't put the brakes on the Ethereums of the world, who really deserve to have the brakes put on them. That's where frictions are. You want frictions? That's frictions. All right, moving along. This is Mr. Wonderful Kevin OLeary, who does the Shark Tank show on CNBC. This guy says a lot of things. Look, the first thing I'll tell you about this guy is one of those guys that talks his book. If you're hearing him talk about Bitcoin today, it's because he bought yesterday, okay? And then he wants to tell you about how great it is so that you will buy. That's how this guy plays the game. And who blames him? That's how a lot of people play the game. But he's a very smart guy, and he has a lot of interesting things to say. I'll tell you which ones are smart and which ones are dumb. If I can hit the refresh button here, hold on.
Over the last 24 months.
Opportunity for investors as you see it in the new year?
Well, the one that I really found interesting over the last 24 months has been crypto and blockchain technologies and tokens and NFTs. You have to make a binary decision about this stuff. And this is very difficult for many institutions. I talk to them every day because I'm in the indexing business. And many of them have not even started their journey into cryptocurrencies. But the reason you should think about it is this. This is how I wrap my head around it, and I think it helps investors to think this way. If you invest in Microsoft and Google and Amazon and so many of these other platforms, what is the core you're investing in? It's basically software. Google software. Well, Bitcoin is not a coin. It's actually software. The blockchain is software. Ethereum is software. HBAR is software. Polygon is software.
Listen, he calls it investing in software. Remember what Glenn Hutchins says. The value is in the protocol. What you're investing in is the protocols. And there's only going to be 5 to 15 of them, in my opinion.
The real decision is if you're willing to invest in software because it's a productivity tool as an equity, such as Google, why wouldn't you invest in software such as Ethereum? Because it provides a service, particularly in payment systems, that is being used globally. And that's sort of my investment thesis. And then the question is which coins, which tokens, which blockchains. And for that, I apply the same rules of diversification I apply to my stocks and bonds. No more than 5% in any one position, no more than 20% in the whole sector. So I'm not anywhere near 20% in crypto.
He makes a great point there, folks. In a risky asset class like this, no more than 20% in that asset class. All right, so I'm not going to play any more of that, but he makes some really good points there. But I do want to show you something that XRP vet Diamonds to the Sky sent me. Okay, he sent me this, and I talked to you yesterday. I bought a Hedera hash graph yesterday. It's one of, in my opinion, it's one of the 5 or 10 that are going to be the protocol, the infrastructure of the new financial system, okay? It says here that they're sponsoring a global blockchain business council virtual blockchain central Davos, okay? I went and looked at their page here, okay? This is the event January 18th, 19th, okay? Then they've got all of the people that are going to be there. They're featured speakers. Now, if you look through these featured speakers, you will see what I believe are going to be some of these protocols that are going to be the infrastructure of the world. So watch this. Charles Hoskinson's going to be there. Think Cardano. As we go down, the guy from Algorand's going to be there. Write that one down. Okay, there's David Treat from Accenture. And then Accenture, which is an investor in Ripple, right? And then let's keep going, and we'll there's the Stellar Development Foundation, think XLM. There's Hedera Hash Graph, right? I want to go through all of these so that look, folks, the writing's on the wall. All you have to do is pay attention to the names and pick the ones out that when you see them. Okay, I think there was one or two more I wanted to show you. Let's keep going. I'm looking through. No, okay. As we get down to here, remember Zhang? Stephen White from Zhang's going to be there. Well, you probably remember that name, Zhang. Let me see where I am here. I think we're right here. Okay. Remember Zhang? Here's Zhang. Remember when XRP Crypto Wolf tweeted this? United Nations partner Zhang will develop a carbon credit solution on the XRP ledger. So folks, and here's Zhang. It's a regulated securities exchange. All right. So that means in the scenario that XRP is a security, that's one point everybody needs to know here, folks. Regardless of what they call it, XRP is going to change the world. Doesn't matter what do you think Gary Gensler, pencil neck geek Gary Gensler is going to be a one-man show that stops what Ripple is and what XRP represents? Not going to happen. In fact, not only is he not going to stop it, but I think that if Gary Gensler doesn't hurry up and get out of the way, Gary Gensler's not going to have a career anymore, because Gary Gensler's on the wrong side of history. But I want to go back to what I just told you, folks. All you have to do is look here. These are the players. These are some of the players. These are about 5 of them, and I'll run through them again. Cardano was represented in that. Algorand was represented in that. Stellar was represented in that. XRP was represented in that. And Hedera Hashgraph. That's right off the top, folks. There you go. I mean, Davos is Davos, these people run the world, folks, whether we like it or not. And also, I want to do a refresh on Zhang, because look at what you see. You might be able to see it. When I hit the refresh, did you see that symbol? That, my friends, is the United Nations symbol. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and tell your friends and family that I just named, 5 of the digital assets that will be a part of the infrastructure of the financial system for the next 1 to 200 years.